Hello guys, it's Naim Pradhan over here. It's from Peak 945. Okay. Today I want to discuss something. That is, in recent times, I have watched some of the events which happened in our country, in Bangladesh. That is, I saw that a few days back, some of the people of the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, from their party, they sent some of the notices to the top leaders. Okay, so after I get some investigation, I'm not supposed to do that, but the thing is that in the foreign national international channels, they're telling that it's a one-party state. So after that, when I dig into the deeper investigation, I found that where is the gap out there. Okay, so from that point, I found that actually the prominent political party in Bangladesh, Bangladesh Awami League, led by the Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, she started her journey in 1981. Okay, after that long struggle she had to face, because I'm telling about the story that everybody knows actually. But for example, if you think that someone, for example, if you consider myself, I'm just a computer engineer from Assam University. Okay, I have more than 15 years experience in the computer software development industry. Okay, but I just want to tell you one thing, that my experience matches my area of work, right? But if you tell someone that I am a graduate, and after that I've become the big leader of this country, of the Bangladesh National Party's, the Secretary General. Okay, what's your experience behind that? That is the reason I tell that. If you dig deeper, you will find that the reason behind such poor results in all of the election last 15 years is because the top leader is in vacation. Now, if we compare some of the events of our Bangladesh Awami League, that is, when Sheikh Hasina was out of the country or in jail, she put the leadership into the top leaders, who is the Chilur Rahman. Okay, later he turned into the president of this country. Okay, but if you don't trust your leaders, how you will sustain in the competitive field? It's not like the past, that once you do the massacre or the assassination of our president Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and after that you turn into the president, where the vice president should become the president. But you forcefully turn into the president because of the conspiracy you supported. And last post I told you that there is a mechanism which is in the computer world, we tell it a framework, like the .NET framework, which is a set of components which works in individual area of the components. Together they form into the system which supports the environment, right? And we are able to develop high quality software because the components work in a synchronized and mutual understanding, and the connections between them is like a coupling or equation, what you mean. Okay, but it's a technical term. But in the field of the politics that we see here is that after the assassination of the Bangabandhu family with his other family members and relatives, suddenly the Commerce Minister turned into the president, and he is telling that there is an indemnity with two parts. One is that there will be no criminal investigations or no case can be formed against the killers. Along with, thought that even if it turned into the people interest, because Bangladesh was the national leader, the only one leader with whose words the country fought the 7 crore people. And after that, if you consider that the context of that time, that is what India was doing, the Bangladesh was did the same thing 10 years back. In the meantime, Bangabandhu was killed, not only him, together with the whole family. The reason is they want to make this country leadership into another path, which they can even sustain. They turn into president, they put the indemnity, what is that called, the ordinance based on the martial law or presidential capacity, the benefits that he owns. Actually, he owns it because the people provided him into that rank. But here that is not the case. The case is that he killed a group of people who was the prominent of this country's origin. And after that, he turned into president, and the backing was the killers. And he named that in the ordinance that these people, the Farooq, Zia Rahman, and the Rashid Khan, they can never be punished. Okay. But why the Zia Rahman name was not there? But I turn it to the current fact. That is, if you see the afterwards, what is the happenings of this country over the timeline, that is, you must understand what happens behind there. There must be a stage prepared. That is the stage that the Farooq prepared. And he got the salute and well done motivation words from the Zia Rahman. Okay, so when the ordinance is not correct from an illegal president, how come the amendment of the Fifth Amendment can be a constitutional law? And people accepted that till 1996. But what we see now, that is, Zia Rahman, he came into the power by the blood, by the weapon and blood. That's his rule. And after that, when he turned into president, and every day he used to put some execution orders in the breakfast table. And Khaleda Zia, his wife, who was working in the cooking stove, and she learns the killing mechanism from him, that this is the way actually how to work in the country to keep the power sustainable. So she proceeded with the same way. And his son, who is only the graduate, and I don't take out that. If the people love him, I accept him and I salute him. But he's not that group. Otherwise, last 15 years, when he's in a big vacation, when Bangabandhu was arrested in Pakistan regime, 35 people were also arrested with him. Family of Bangabandhu tried to set him free to give a better life, but he didn't accept that. It was, let me stay here. The Pakistan regime has to confess that there is a wrong. They set him free after 2 weeks. But here what we see, that the Tariq Rahman, who is a criminal, and by judgment he is already punished for 12 years, like a lifetime prison sentence. But what we see here, he not even face the court or a trial, he come into the country, but he don't do that. But he loves the luxurious life, and sitting there, he is putting his people back, along with my country is getting the name of one party state from the Al Jazeera or other international channels. This is a conspiracy. I can claim it. Very judgment. I didn't born before the 1971. Even 1975 I was not there. But if I do the literature review, you must understand that when Bangabandhu was killed, the vice president should be turned into the president. If it is not there, the speaker should be turned into the president. But nobody was there. After killing the Bangabandhu, they killed the 4 national leaders who were supposed to the loyal forces of Bangabandhu political party. As well, they killed all the loyal military officers in the 1977. So now what can we tell that? Previously we tell the word Mir Jafar in a joke. That where there is a fraudulity, that is the Mir Jafar. His name is 420. Now what we can tell, the ordinance 77, that is the name of Zia Rahman should be. So it is a bit hard to accept to the people who was in his party. But look what happens. The people who are supposed to pay the wasa bills, utility bills of his house, administrative officers, they turn into big leaders. So you see the framework what Zia Rahman applied there. That is, I make the multi-party democracy because my party is new. To sustain there, I need other more parties like a Shomiti. That Hari Jahina Hilat Ekshate Moria. That is the thing they are supposed to plan. So it's a component of the framework. That is the Bahudaliya Ganatantra. Next is the uplift the haters of this country so that we get some muscle power. Who didn't support the independence of this country, who was against Bangabandhu, is our friends. Your enemy's enemy is my friend. So they lift up the Majid, Farooq, Rashid, Khan, those people. This is the second component of his plan. And next component is, Farooq, you are the lower ground officers. You can take actions. I am the senior officer, I cannot. If there is some happening, the country is not stable, I can take into the power, I can save you. In that, there is a background component which is visible after some time, but it is an invisible component. Okay. This stage of the prerequisite thing, something you can tell. Okay. So the basic component is multi-party democracy to sustain my party. Next is uplift the country haters. They will support us. They even cannot make it a Pakistan, but they can make this country inactive. At least we get some power, we get some money, right? That we see now in his son and his wife, everybody, we see that it's a freedom. Rather than the education or the progress in their profession, then that if you're not built, how do you want to build this country? The current budget of this country is 5 lakh, more than 5 lakh thousand crore, right? So being only graduate in arts, philosophy, history, how can you plan to make this country very high level? Next. Previously, some components were the baselines which was made that by the Pakistan's Al-Badr, Al-Shams and Rajakas. They kill all the brilliant brains. That is called the Buddhijivi's Hotta. Why they did it? Because if there is no Buddhijivi, you can, the Rajakas are the top Buddhijivis here. So they can work in the different foreign embassies because this country don't have any brain out there. Is after the 50 years time, God knows everything. God is the creator of heaven and earth. So in this place of the land of the earth, they put the Bengali into their residence out here. So there is no conspiracy can be success in this country by those Rajakas Al-Badrs. That's why they keep the behavers. But the others were the country followers, mostly they love it, they turn into a big leaders. For example, in the current context, some people telling that how do you get the money to join the Harvard University, right? Then I have to tell you that you have the money previously, I agree and accept, because from the what is that called, indemnity and ordinance, you rule the country, you capture all the money. I agree that you have the money, but how do you get chance over there? It's not an easy thing, right? So when you talk about the money part, you also talk about the intellectual part, that he got the chance as well, he has the money, right? And that time they were not the prime minister in the government. Okay. Next thing is that some people is telling that because of corruption, two leaders are in fight in the country, in the city corporation. Then I have to tell it that it is not in last 12 years or in last 50 years, these things didn't happen much. It happens when your top leader is in 15 years vacation. And after that, when your leaders are telling that I don't agree with this lower caliber leader, that is who is in vacation in the river bank of the Thames, then they start the conspiracy, who is fighting for the same role, but they didn't success because both of them agree by themselves. They are okay with each other. Now you take the benefits of the live videos, but you are supporting some people who are not happy and making the country top leaders who fought long years for this people and the party and the country. They are successful. Now if you try to embarrass this family, talking about the family life, then I must say that you are fighting or competition, what you are doing in a negative way, which is not the correct way. And I have to mention one more thing. The way we saw last day in the Bangabandhu interview by a reporter, international, he said, the reporter was telling that Bangabandhu said that he never will take any aid from the USA. But what happens after the 1971, each of the country who did not support that time, China, America, whoever it is, only India and Russia supported us. But each of them accepted this country. Because I have few friends over those countries. They tell me that when we see any country wants independence, we send a survey team there. If we see that the people acceptance is out there, we agree with that. And each of the country, not a single country out there who didn't accept this country. Next thing is that who are the losers or defeat party or the people of that like Pakistan spies still there. Most of them are hanged. In that interview, Bangabandhu told that the Al-Badr, Al-Shams and collaborators of Pakistani army will never be left behind. They must be under punishment. They must be catched. Police will catch them. And he couldn't finish his journey. But we did it already. Our Prime Minister did it already. And people of Amali supported that. Around the world, nobody tried to stop that. You have to understand that. If there is some much pressure, there is no way to deter. But everybody supported. Nobody will agree with the correct words. If it is against the Rajakar or any country's own people, nobody will accept the negative thing. The world is moving straight way. If you want to travel 10 miles, you have to go through the 10 miles straight way. You cannot go there skipping any miles over the radius or going more path by 14 miles. You will be left behind. No country will support you. Negative things, false things, nobody will support. So our government, which they did legally, everybody supported. They are punished. So now my question is that what I was trying to tell, that there is a group in that when Bangu was asked, you will never take the American aid, on what he told there, we must take aid if we have need and if they try to help. If I take help from other people, why don't we take help from them? Is there some alien? But we have to investigate we have to dig deeper. That is, who is going to take advantage if we keep our distance from USA? That is, the group who were the loser of that time. They know that time they were the superpower. Okay, so they even defeated in that country in that time till now, but they want to keep our distance from there. But the time has changed. The BF, the undergrad or our prime minister previously who couldn't develop. I give one example, only one example. That is, when you invest 23,000 crore taka for energy development, electricity, but the megawatt size didn't change, then where is the money out there? In the short time, we developed a lot of mega projects. We made the country electricity fulfilled, we make the food sufficiently, we can grow ourselves. We run our people by ourselves. At least we don't die in that way. There is no famine, what is that called, Durbiko out there. Which they predicted that during the corona, when the lockdown, the government operations shut down. How? The communication will drop. But everything we run, because previously what we thought that ধানে শেষ আমার জনগণ ধানে পড়ে থাকবে কিন্তু ধানে পড়ে থাকে ওর উঠতে দেবো না আমি আমার ভোট লাগে ওদের আমি রাস্তায় খাটাবো চাকরি দিয়ে রাস্তায় নামাবো we don't think like that way, rather what we think, we give them education. আমরা একসাথেই করি ডিসপাইটই কমায় আনি. This is the way. But when your leadership is poor in nature or the education or in a thinking mindset, he will try his followers also go backwards because he wants to keep the top in that backward group. That is the reason why the democracy is not fulfilled here. Because even there, inside the corona, 60% vote was casted. But 30 candidates of BNP lose the Jamanat. How why it happens? Because I tell you, your leader from Teranodi Shashamuttu Dure, he is trying to join his followers with Skype later on with Zoom. But what happened that he selected the wrong person. People don't work for him. Even the top leaders who are the founder of Bangladesh military, 21 people out of 1, he is getting the notice. This is how it is possible. His top leaders were the advisors of his mother or the fighters of his father, co-worker. He don't care about them, right? So how come low caliber illiterate people will run this country? Because this is already a 5.5 lakh thousand crore taka budget each year. We have much money, we develop much. So this time we need to be careful about such people who always try to talk negative, make us distant with the people we can get benefit. This is how the people tried our country to move backward. But it didn't happen. It never it will happen. You consider, I should not tell this, but I'm a science guy. If you match the pattern, how the Jesus Christ was died, he was crucified. It was a punishment. He was the leader of the whole mankind. He's the son of the God. What the Christians are telling. I believe that because he's a prophet of Muslims also. So when he's a common set, he must be from the God. But if you see the consideration, what happens in the Bangabandhu family, each of them was died. So the followers already get the remedy from the sins. If they have sinned, if they pardon, it is already removed by the God, the mercy. like the way the followers of the Jesus Christ gets the benefit. That is why you see when last 12 years, why so much high level of development out there? Because they have so much goodwill. And why the other outside people is telling that why the democracy is running by one party government. It is not the case. The case is out there. Why you should ask first why Major Hafiz, who was the freedom fighter, getting the notice from a ward boy like something, who is a supervisor of a BNP office. He turned into a big leader. If such happens, this country should die. But we have a better luck that we have a better people in government. We can maintain a better relationship. We didn't take anything personal. What we do, we talk in the broader scale. That it impacts the whole population, not a single person. That I'm outside 15 years, but I don't have that much part on my leader, the late Major Hafiz Rani. When your party itself, your mother, who was the Prime Minister, got so much corruption case is already proven in the court. You get jail, you get a life sentence in prison. But this guy, why don't he get any of the cases which is punished? So you must understand that still there is some good people out there in the opposition part. The system in the law context is running in a way that they don't speak up, and my country gets the bad name. Why? What is the reason behind that? If you investigate, you say what is the origin after the 75? What is the 77? 665 people were killed, military officials who were Mujib loyal. I talk about the framework. What is the democracy, multi-party democracy, bringing the country haters into superpower, make them ambassadors, bring some opposition leaders into my party, make the Muslims into the road. Previously in War of Bangladesh, there is thousands, lakhs of people come in 7 months, but in their voice nobody comes. So I collect the Muslim. Every community, one Muslim is all enough to bring them in the road. This is how I try to manage them. But what we see, they couldn't. This will never happen. In a country, people is the most powerful. And if that people takes the wrong decision, they suffer itself. And this country already 65 people are youth. So you can never think that this country can be misunderstood by some wrong voice living in the bank of Thames River. So you must understand. I didn't want to tell that. Only one thing raised this question to me. I'm a computer science guy. When I see that when your leadership reasons, your party is getting negative results in the vote, you are trying to impact the Bangladesh Awami League, who previously for a long time has long record to keep the unity intact. You are hitting one leader by other leader by sometimes using technology, sometimes in the manual work. Who are the people behind this? You check. If you check, you'll see that who didn't prosper in their own profession, got retired from the institutions, they have some hate. They are doing this in background. They have talent, technical knowledge, how to run the ammunition weapons. So they have that training, how to run the operation in the midnight, deep night, how to motivate people negatively. So I know because I saw some videos. And if you measure the calculations, if you see the patterns, people may tell that Gonok Baba. But if you consider data science, what happens? I give you one example. After 47, how many years it took to get rid from the Pakistani autocrats? Bangladesh showed much tolerance. It took more than 20 years. You see how much time Ziaur Rahman Ershad can sustain? Half, 10 years. How much time Khaleda Zia could sustain? 5 years. If the time their ruling time is getting decreased, negative and negative, because the people's education is getting higher and higher. The way the people will go, the way the negative people will get down. This is what I want to tell, because I cannot stop me telling this. Thank you very much. Thanks. Bye.